Hi there, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jonathan Clark. I'm the author of Ignite and Unshackle the Latent Power of You. I help people change their lives, their habits, their behaviours, their sense of identity, their money, their health, whatever they need help with when their life is in crisis. Let me start by asking you a simple question. Have you ever been on the verge of making an important investment and you're trying to gather all the information that you need so that you can make the right decision? Well, if you watched my last video, you're thinking about getting into this thing called NLP, and you're probably shopping around for the best package. There's so much to consider though, isn't there? I wonder how long the courses take. How much will it cost? What qualification will I get at the end of it? Is there any support offered after the course is finished and I'm back home? Is there any kind of money back guarantee? Will it be a nice venue? These are all the kind of things that go through people's heads, the questions running through your mind. And I felt exactly the same confusion when I was looking around 20 odd years ago. So let's make this really easy for you, shall we? So, what gives me the authority to talk about this? Well, the truth is, I'm a certified NLP trainer, and I've been running these kind of courses for 20 years. I certify people at the practitioner and the master practitioner level, and I'm always trying to make my courses better and better. That's absolutely my business. Yes, I'm an NLP training business, but my style and my approach doesn't suit everybody, let's be honest. So my genuine intention here is to give you some hints and tips about how to choose an NLP provider, because the varying standards in the NLP community affect my reputation too, yeah? Now, I'll be honest with you, I've personally attended several NLP practitioner, master practitioner and trainers training courses, as well as countless of other certifications, seminars and workshops. I've invested tens of thousands of pounds in training, and I've been in all kinds of courses, from the really awful to the really mind-blowing. But I did a lot of research first. Now, I understand where you're at. Maybe you know someone who's done an NLP training and you've noticed the results or how much they've changed. Possibly you've read an NLP book and you like what you've seen so far. Trust me, there's a whole bunch of things that I think you need to think about before you spend a whole lot of time, money and energy on a training. The fact is, you'll probably only ever do one NLP practitioner course in your lifetime, so you better get it right. You see, I've learned that NLP training is a subject of much confusion. In fact, loads of people have weird misconceptions about NLP in the first place. So I decided to shoot this consumer awareness video so that when you select an NLP company, you can make an informed and intelligent decision. See, NLP came about through modelling how things work. Many NLP trainers teach you one set of principles, yet seem to live by another. Now, while the official syllabus is usually the same, the method of delivery and the standards of training vary dramatically. So I'm going to share with you some costly misconceptions about neuro-linguistic programming. Plus, I'm going to offer you 4 recommendations with no strings attached. Now, like you, I care about personal development, so I made this video to give you some advice so you can benefit from my 20 years of experience and hopefully help you make the right choice for you at no risk. Now, in every course I've ever attended, there was always something that could have been better. It would have made it so much easier if the parking was free, or if the venue had been nicer, or if the trainers actually kept in touch after the course finished. There was usually a hole somewhere that hadn't been filled, do you know what I mean? So we share a common goal to ensure that you have an awesome experience of NLP. Well, I've got your back here, so let me give you some suggestions about what you can look for to make sure you get it right. Now this is a Corgi Lotus Esprit from the James Bond film. I bought this when I was 10 years old because I dreamed of having the real thing. So think of it like buying a used car. You know yourself, it's useful to get someone in who knows a bit about cars, who can give it a once-over, point out the tricks of the trade, the possible repairs that are needed, and how much is a fair price for you to pay, and to point you in the right direction. You get the idea. Now that's what I did. I found my dream car back in 2003. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I know nothing about mechanics. Yes, I can top up the oil and the screen wash, but if my car breaks down, I'm completely rubbish with cars. Okay, so when I didn't know if what I was looking at was a good thing or not, I had to find someone who could. It's just like what you see in the TV. You ever seen the TV series Quantum Leap? Now, what was the name of the lead guy again? Sam. Now, if you remember that series, and it's been released on DVD now, so you can get the whole box set. And DVD makes the picture sharper and the sounds are clearer, whether it's Dolby stereo sound or whatever. Have you ever seen it? If you haven't seen it, every week he'd find himself transported into a different time period, a new setting every week. Not only that, he'd find himself in a new body every episode. Now imagine that, waking up into a new body, maybe even a different gender. And he can't see the real him. When he looks in the mirror, all he can see is what everybody else sees, the new face that he's wearing in that body. He can hear his own normal voice in his head when he speaks, but magically it gets changed, and everybody else hears the new voice. Now he also had an invisible advisor called Al. And Al was a sidekick and best friend, who only appeared as a hologram that Sam and a few select others could see. In every episode, Sam would have to do something different every week. He'd have different responsibilities from last time. And he kept finding himself in a new dilemma every single week. Can you relate to that feeling? And how do you get out of a dilemma when you don't know which way to turn? Well, you could try asking someone who knows. Now, as I said before, authentic NLP training is a big investment of time and money. So there's a couple of questions that might be running through your head. Number one, where do I start? Number two, how do I know what data to gather? What questions to ask? Number three, what are the danger signs to look for? Number four, how can I be certain that I'm looking at a reputable company? So I made this video to make things easier for you. I earned my stripes the hard way over 2 decades. So with the knowledge that you'll gain from watching this all the way to the end, you can be secure in the knowledge that you're getting the right course for you. You'll be able to accurately tell the cowboys from the genuine article. You'll also know the right questions to ask, and you can be confident that you're making the right choice. So here's the first question you should ask a dependable NLP trainer. Will I get my personal questions answered, and will I get any personal attention? Or will it just be a download of data from trainers who refuse to take questions? Now, I've actually seen some NLP trainers actually forbid any questions on a course. Most take questions, some actively encourage them, but a good trainer should have depth and breadth of knowledge and hopefully experience in using NLP in the real world. That means that they should welcome and be able to answer your questions to your satisfaction. But what if they don't, or they can't? What would you do? The next question is, and you're probably thinking this already, will NLP work for me? Okay, I've read the books, I've heard the hype, but this is little old me we're talking about. Will I be smart enough? Good enough? The bottom line is, NLP isn't about intelligence. A good trainer will make anything simple and break it down into learnable chunks. That, in theory, is why they're calling themselves trainers. If the trainers are criticising your ability to learn, then they're poor trainers. Your intelligence shouldn't be an issue. Now, what about money? Is it really value for money? Does it actually do what it says on the tin? Or is it all hype, smoke and mirrors? Will I actually be learning how to manipulate or con people? Does it genuinely work? I mean, is it really possible to change my beliefs and my behaviours and my feelings? Having helped clients for 23 years in coaching, therapy, training and couple counselling, I can absolutely guarantee the NLP methods work. I wouldn't teach anything that I hadn't studied, implemented and used myself. You can't put a price on a flying phobia client who's finally able to jet to Australia to visit their parents for the first time in 20 years. NLP is a proven approach that creates real change in people. Now here's the next thing to watch out for. Cliquey practice groups. Sometimes you're allowed to walk into a pre-existing support group full of existing NLP practitioners, but sometimes they're really cliquey groups that are stuffy and they're unwelcoming to the beginners. For a method that preaches rapport and respecting other people's model of the world, that's a pretty poor show. Or worse, the practice group is just a pitch fest or a recruitment vehicle for the type of person that I've just mentioned. If they're looking for a deposit on the night, they're not trainers, they're salesmen. Find a different group who will happily accept you in. Now also be careful if you don't know who trained them. Find out the lineage of your prospective trainers. Who trained them? See, lineage is really important in lots of personal growth fields, and NLP has created an abundance of watered down, diluted clones of the originators.
Remember Dracula, the lord of the vampires, who would bite someone and they'd become a vampire too. Now if the new vampire bit someone, there would be less and less pure vampire blood passed down, right? So the last person in the chain only has 1% vampire blood, and therefore isn't a true vampire at all, they're just a lackey. So Reiki practitioners and martial artists love to use this lineage thing too. Everyone wants to be the Grand Master's favourite. Chances are they were actually one of 100 people in the room. See, I could say I shared the stage with Tony Robbins. All that means is I sat on his stage after his seminar was finished. That's not the same thing as claiming that I was ever on stage with him at the same time. Be careful. Now some trainers will offer you CDs to listen to before you do the course, but these are often by a totally different trainer. So make sure that if you're listening to the pre-study materials, that they're actually by the trainer that you're going to be training with. You don't want to be listening to these CDs and thinking, God, I wish I'd heard him. Now to be honest, when it comes to regulation in the world of NLP, the governing bodies have no enforcement powers. Did you know that in the next few years, legislation regarding psychotherapy, psychology and counselling will almost certainly be passed, which will affect how NLP is licensed, trained and practiced within the UK and Europe. As an independent financial advisor in a previous career, I was under close scrutiny, continual assessment and very strict codes of practice enforced conduct. And the governing bodies had full legal clout behind them. If a client was unhappy or felt as if they were misled, the full weight of the law could be brought down upon that company that was responsible. This doesn't exist in the NLP world yet. The so-called governing bodies in the NLP community have no real power, no enforcement and weak assessment. Frankly, you can buy your way up the NLP ladder and become a trainer even if you've never seen a real live client in your life. So when a student asks that kind of person, how have you used this with real clients? How can they answer that in all integrity? Here's the truth. I know one NLP trainer who, despite allegations against him for child abuse, continues to work exclusively with children. Unbelievable. Ironically, the same person set up a fictitious Institute for NLP Ethics. Yeah, right. Several female clients have complained to me privately about seduction and hypnosis techniques being used on them, and they're all too scared to challenge the male NLP trainer who's doing that. Can you imagine? I know 3 so-called NLP coaches whose entire experience consists of a 3-day training course with 1,000 other people and 12 written homework assignments. But will they tell you that on their brochures and websites? I doubt it. The best the NLP associations can do is void a person's certificate. But in an unregulated industry, that's not going to stop them from doing what they're doing. So please take my advice and protect yourself. So another couple of questions you should ask. What experience do the trainers have? Have they been doing this for long? See, some NLP training organisations have been around as long as NLP has, about 40 years. Recently though, there's been a flood of new NLP trainers, especially in England and Ireland. Scotland seems to have far less. Did they just read a book and call themselves a trainer or call themselves a coach? There are cowboys in every profession, unfortunately. So make sure the people that you're thinking of training with know what they're doing, and you can verify that they're fully certified. There are cowboys everywhere. What are the qualifications? Who certified them? I've said it before, let me repeat this. In NLP, as in other disciplines, lineage of trainers is really important. Have you ever heard of the trainers' trainers? And are they models of excellence? Do they seem to be getting the kind of results that you want, or are they a mess?
Would you like their lifestyle? Do they have the kind of results you want to emulate? Remember that the only difference between an NLP novice and an NLP master is time and practice. And if they're going to be pioneers for you, would you really want to walk in their footsteps? And are they faithful to the NLP mindset and teachings? Are they congruent? I mean, does your unconscious mind feel trust when you listen to them? Do the results match their claims, or do they just talk a good game? This is an investment you're making, so make sure. Promise me you'll do your due diligence, okay? What do other students say about the trainers? Do they get glowing references, or do they get gripes? And how many practitioner courses have they run in the past? Everyone has to start somewhere, so find out if you're one of their first students, or if you're joining a long list of loyal clients. Now, if you're interested in NLP and its uses in therapy, you'd be better talking to a trainer who's worked in therapy. Or if it's business or sales, does the NLP company seem to be doing well? Because they better practice what they preach. I once coined the phrase, always a trainer, never a therapist. Are they teaching you theory that they read somewhere, or have they got the real life experience to back it up? See, I was once in an NLP practitioner course with 3 students, where the teacher was teaching us an NLP sales model. And I remember thinking to myself, if this stuff is so good for sales, why are there only 3 people on the course? So with all that said, here are my 4 steps to a reliable, trustworthy and unforgettable NLP training experience that leaves you competent and confident in your NLP skills. Recommendation number 1, make a commitment to yourself to attend the first level of training. With all due respect, the longer you put it off, the more expensive it will get and the less certainty that you'll create in your mind. But get a course that's backed by an ironclad money-back guarantee. So if you're not entirely happy, you can do something about it. Recommendation number 2, list your objectives. Do you want to work only on yourself, or do you want to feel confident working with other people too? Do you want to work with an honest, reputable company, or are you willing to risk working with a company that offers you the lowest price? Recommendation number 3, ask the right questions. The way you learn about a company is to ask specific questions and listen very carefully to the answers. This video has many pertinent questions that any reputable trainer will be able to answer to your satisfaction. So feel free to watch it again and jot down some notes. Recommendation number 4, once you're satisfied that you're working with an honest, competent professional, call their office and ask to speak to them in person. Get a feel for them and trust your gut reaction. After all, NLP teaches us to trust our unconscious minds when we're building a relationship. By following these 4 recommendations, I guarantee you'll gain all the information you need to make an informed, intelligent decision. If you want a quick, cheap NLP course, loads of companies out there will sell you one. If you want quality professional training that you can use to make lifetime changes, make sure you're looking at the right trainer. Now earlier, I left you with a question about how do you get out of a dilemma when you don't know which way to turn? Like the guy in Quantum Leap, he keeps appearing in different bodies every week and he has to get used to the new him. He looks different, he sounds different, and after a while he gets used to the changes. He even has a guide. There's another star on the show that he talks to who's like an advisor, totally invisible to everyone else, but he can go in and have these quiet conversations with this guide anytime he wants. So it keeps him right. And there's always a happy ending at the end of every episode of Quantum Leap. So if you're buying a car, even a second-hand car, you need to know about its history. The more you know about its past, the more comfortable you feel about its future. And if there's details in date order, then you feel safer and more secure knowing that you've made the right choice. You can even get a report done, especially if the car's a long way away. That's what I did. Remember the corgi toy Lotus Esprit on my desk? Eventually I started buying slightly different versions, and slightly bigger versions. Now I'm not a good car mechanic at all. My dream car was in Kent, so I sent the REC down to inspect it. That way I could check it out before I signed anything and hand over my money, so I'd be happy with my purchase. I got my dream car, but I didn't just dream about it, because it's what you do that counts. It's always good to ask for advice, to ask someone who knows a lot about the subject. Gather information, ask the right questions, then you can make your mind up and you can buy with confidence. So that's why I shot this video for you. I hope you find that useful. Feel free to get in touch if you want to ask any questions about anything in this video. And if it helps you get the right course for you, even if that's not a training with me, then that's cool too. Okay? I'll do my best to answer honestly anything you want to know, with no obligation, and I'm happy to give you my best advice. It would be my pleasure. So thank you for watching. This is Jonathan Clark, and I hope our timelines cross again sometime. Take care. Bye bye.